We're going to test this 1996 Canon 300-2.8 on this A1 Mark II with the Metabones adapter to see if it even works. Let's get into it. So in the early part of my career with Sony back in 2014 and 15, there were no long lenses. I had to use adapters to use Canon long lenses to my Sony bodies in order to make it work. And that worked out okay for a while, but as soon as Sony started making the long glass, like the 400-2.8 especially, that meant that I didn't have to do that anymore. I just happen to have in the studio today, I've got a 1996 version of the Canon's 300-2.8. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to see if it works on an A1 Mark II. So I want to give you a little heads up. I want to be honest. I tried this earlier and it did activate the autofocus motor, but it would just hunt all the time and it wouldn't lock on. So I took the Metabones adapter up to my office and I plugged it in and did a firmware update. This was on firmware 6.8 and now it's on 0.75. So we're going to see if this firmware update will make it possible to use this old 1996 lens on this 2025 camera. So let's give it a shot here. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I get a lot of questions from people asking me about adapting, and I get it because it's expensive. The long glass from Sony is expensive, just like everybody else's, and there's so much Canon glass out there that's available used for really cheap, so I get it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and what you're going to hear is a thunk first. It's like when the autofocus motor starts going. I'm going to hold this up by the microphone when I do that to see if you can hear it. Okay, so there wasn't really a thunk, but let's see. Oh my God. That's crazy. It works. So let this be a lesson to you that if you get something and it's not working, remember that the camera has firmware, the adapter has firmware, and then some of the lenses out there have firmware too. So lenses from Tamron, from Sigma, Viltrox, TT Artisans, all these lenses have firmware updates. So if something's not working, you can actually get away with it. Now, would I use this the way it is? No, I have a 300-2.8 Sony lens. It's way better than this. But this is only $1,000 to buy this lens used. And so I can't believe that there's just the firmware update itself was enough to, yeah, it's actually working. No hunting. And what you'll find too, when you're using these adapters, there is a little bit of a learning curve. There's like literally the first minute or two that you have it connected up. I don't know if, I guess the camera is learning what it's driving. And so don't just try it once and shut it off and forget it. Kind of stay with it for a few minutes before you give up. I do prefer the MC11 Sigma adapter because they do more firmware updates. They keep up with it much better. So I am really impressed that this works. I can't believe it. 1996, 2025, working together. And it's because of Sony's technology and also Metabones and Sigma too. So thanks so much for watching. Catch you later.